Hello and thanks for joining us here on France 24 for this special edition of France in Focus. With the summer holidays very much on everybody's minds right across Europe, we decided to dedicate this entire edition to tourism here in France, the top tourist destination on the planet, drawing more than 80 million tourists per year, whose contribution represents some 7% of French GDP. Well, for centuries, Paris has also held particular appeal to foreign visitors, whether it's the street-side cafes, the Eiffel Tower, the museums or the shopping. The city lures more than 30 million visitors every single year. Well, we've been to speak to some of them to find out just what Paris means to them.
France is beautiful.
A place of great food.
A great country.
Romantic. Yeah, romantic.
France is a joy of life.
Paris is fantastic.
Paris is history.
Fashion world.
Paris is crowded.
The French, they can be arrogant sometimes.
The French people are busy.
Very polite.
The French are friendly. Maybe. Sometimes.
We're now at the Louvre, the world's most visited museum, which draws millions of visitors every single year. It's always been a huge hit with the tourists. But tourist habits are changing. The way they book accommodation, how they get around, how they decide where they're going to eat. It's all evolving very fast indeed. Well, let's have a little look now and see the various ways in which the tourist industry is moving with the times.
Holidays in France used to look like this. Roads clogged up by cars on the way to the beach, sun and fun. But times have changed. Today, holidaymakers are more likely to consult their phone or the internet before packing their bags. That starts with making sure that their holiday will actually be sunny.
If you activate the sensible weather search option, you are only left with destinations where the weather will be good next week.
Last-minute holidays allow for decisions based on the weather. Almost 40% of French holidaymakers now book their holiday only 2 weeks before setting off. Modes of transport are also changing. Instead of hailing a cab, people order a private car at the touch of a button. Or they go online to rent from a local or find a ride to share to get them to the beach. Accommodation is also changing, with people preferring to stay in flats. Home exchanges have been rising for a decade. The market for rented apartments and private houses has exploded over the last few years, popular even with those who can afford to live large.
I prefer a house. I can cook, I can get up when I want, I can eat when I want. I go on holiday for the sun. I love hearing the crickets, the garden. It's all these things added together which make the holiday even more enjoyable.
Traditional hotel owners are appalled by this encroachment on their turf.
Our business is down 15 to 20%. All our colleagues are experiencing the same, and it's just the beginning. There is no regulation at all.
Activities enjoyed while away are also seeing a digital revamp. Why rent your own boat when you can hop aboard a privately owned one for a few hours, skipper included?
I own a 7-meter, 200 horsepower boat. You can sleep in it, it's comfortable. And all for the same price an agency would charge for a smaller 50 horsepower boat.
Yet despite technology's helping hand in organizing holiday fun, some activities are timeless.
A rickshaw perhaps isn't the first means of transport that springs to mind when you think of Paris, but recently there's been a sharp increase in this form of transport around the city. Well, it can be a fun way to get to know Paris, but as we're about to see in this next report, not all the drivers of these three-wheeled vehicles comply with the laws of the land.
Rickshaw taxi bikes can be seen all over much of central Paris, at the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame and along the banks of the Seine River. They are a breath of fresh air for visiting tourists in the summer heat. Jeremy, a student most of the time, is taxi biking this summer to earn more cash and share his knowledge of French culture.
So what's this building then?
The members of the Académie Française in charge of the French language meet here.
This is power pedaling, helped by a small electric motor. Without it, crisscrossing the city would be a nightmare.
The bike weighs 120 kilos with no one in it. I can't do it all on my own.
The standard fare is €1 a minute. Jeremy works on a self-employed basis, setting his own price, and finds it better to start out with a high figure.
I put the price a bit higher because people often want to bargain.
He doesn't own the bike, he rents it from a company, and that makes him a mobile billboard. Some can see there is money in the taxi bike business. These rickshaws at the Eiffel Tower don't have any advertising and look a lot more rickety. Police say they are often run by migrants, not always up to speed on the paperwork. Is their income declared? Are customers insured?
Do you have insurance?
Yes.
But the insurance isn't for the client.
Oh, it's just for the bike. What if I'm injured?
Official or otherwise, they are not allowed to park or stop at the Eiffel Tower to tout for customers. Another rule being flouted. They head off as soon as the military or police approach, only to return to the same spot minutes later to pick up tourists who are only concerned about one thing: exploring one of the world's most beautiful cities.